What you're about to hear wasn't supposed to get out. Not today. Not ever. Because according to explosive new leaks tied to Joe Rogan, a situation that looked like simple celebrity drama has just twisted into something far darker. Something that people are already calling one of the most disturbing behind-the-scenes plots to surface this year. And at the center of it all, Erika Kirk. But this time, it's not about relationships. It's not about rumors. It's about a plan. A plan so calculated, so chilling, that even insiders who've seen everything in this industry are saying this crosses a line nobody comes back from. Because late last night, a clip allegedly from a private conversation surfaced, one that fans claim was referenced during a heated discussion connected to Joe Rogan, and it contained words that instantly sent shockwaves through social media. She's talking too much. That's how it starts. But it doesn't end there. Because according to the same leak, the conversation shifts, and what comes next? It's not a warning. It's not a threat. It's something else. Something that sounds dangerously close to a setup. And the target? Someone described only as Charlie's sister. No full name. No public identity. Just enough information to spark panic. Because within minutes, theories exploded. Who is she? What does she know? And more importantly, why would anyone want her silenced? But then came the line that changed everything. It won't look like anything. That's when the internet froze. Because suddenly, this wasn't gossip anymore. This sounded like something planned. Something hidden. Something meant to disappear without a trace. And just when people thought it couldn't get worse, another leak dropped. A message. Short. Cold. Direct. Handle it before she talks. At that point, chaos wasn't optional. It was inevitable. Fans started digging. Old clips resurfaced. Connections were drawn that nobody had noticed before. And right in the middle of it all, Joe Rogan's name kept coming up, not as the one involved, but as the one who might have just exposed everything. And if even half of this is real, then what's about to unfold next isn't just a scandal. It's something much more dangerous. The moment that clip started circulating, the internet didn't just react, it fractured. Because people weren't just hearing words, they were hearing intent. And once those phrases, handle it, and won't look like anything, hit mainstream timelines, the entire narrative around Erika shifted from messy gossip to something far more serious. At the center of the storm was Joe Rogan, whose name kept surfacing in connection with a private conversation that allegedly referenced the situation. Not as the one making the plan, but as the one who might have heard enough to start asking questions. And that's where things got complicated. Because according to insiders, the original clip wasn't even supposed to leak. It was allegedly part of a longer, off-the-record discussion, something shared in a closed circle, never meant for public ears. But someone recorded it. Someone saved it. And eventually, someone released it. And once it hit the public, there was no stopping it. But here's where the story takes its first major twist. Because while everyone was focused on the words themselves, a smaller detail started gaining attention. A timestamp. Buried in the metadata of the original audio file, fans noticed something strange. It aligned almost perfectly with a night Erika had publicly posted about being home, unbothered, and focused on peace. That post. It was still up. Smiling photos. Calm captions. A completely different reality. And suddenly, people weren't just questioning the clip. They were questioning the timeline. Was she really home that night? Or was something else happening behind the scenes that didn't match the image being presented? That question alone triggered a wave of digital investigation. Fans began pulling receipts, old stories, tagged locations, background details in videos. Nothing was too small. Nothing was ignored. And then came the next drop. A screenshot. Allegedly from a private group chat involving someone close to Erika's circle. The message was simple, but explosive. She thinks nobody's watching. That's the mistake. No name attached. No clear sender. But the implication. Heavy. Because now, the narrative wasn't just about a possible plan. It was about someone feeling watched, monitored, maybe even exposed. And just when the pressure was building, a second audio clip surfaced. Longer this time. Clearer. And far more unsettling. Two voices again. One calm. One more cautious. She's already told people, the cautious voice said. This isn't gonna stay quiet. Pause. Then the calm voice responded. That's why it needs to be handled now. That line. It sent shockwaves. Because suddenly, the earlier clip didn't feel isolated. It felt connected. Like part of something ongoing. Something being discussed more than once. And the phrase, handled now, started trending within minutes. People weren't debating anymore. They were speculating. And speculation turned into panic. Who was she? What had she told people? And what exactly did handling it mean? But just as those questions started spiraling out of control, another twist dropped. A post. From someone claiming to be Charlie's sister. No verification. No blue check. Just an account that had been inactive for months, suddenly active again. The post was short. I see everything now. That was it. No context. No explanation. But it was enough. Because within seconds, the comments flooded. Are you okay? What do you know? Is this about the leaks? And then, nothing. The account went silent again. No replies. No follow-up. Just that one message, sitting there, unanswered. And the timing. Too perfect. Because now, the internet had a face, or at least a voice, to attach to the story. And that made everything more real. More urgent. More dangerous. But here's where things took a darker turn. Because according to a source claiming to be close to the situation, that post wasn't planned. It wasn't coordinated. It was emotional. A reaction. And the moment it went live, it triggered something behind the scenes. Something immediate. Because just minutes after that post appeared, Erika logged in. No announcement. No warning. A sudden live session. And the energy. Completely different from anything people had seen before. No calm smiles. No controlled tone. This time, she looked tense. Watching the comments scroll. Reading everything in real time. And then she said something that made the entire situation even more unsettling. You don't know the full story. Not defensive. Not emotional. Just cold. Calculated. And before anyone could even process what that meant, she added one more line, and you definitely don't know what people are capable of. The chat exploded. People started asking questions faster than she could respond. What does that mean? Who are you talking about? Is someone in danger? But she didn't answer. Instead, she stared into the camera for a few seconds, like she was deciding something. And then, the stream cut. Gone. No explanation. No goodbye. And within seconds, a new rumor started spreading like wildfire. Because someone claimed that life didn't end on its own. It ended. And if that's true, then someone else might be watching this situation unfold in real time. Someone who doesn't want certain things said out loud. And if that's the case, then whatever this really is, it's a lot bigger than anyone thought. The second that life was cut off, the entire internet shifted from curiosity to something closer to alarm. Because now it wasn't just about what was said. It was about what wasn't allowed to be said. Clips of Erika's final words, "You don't know what people are capable of," started circulating everywhere. Slowed down. Zoomed in. Reposted with captions like, "This is not normal," and "Why did she say it like that?" And right in the middle of that storm, one name kept resurfacing again, Joe Rogan. Not because he confirmed anything, but because insiders began claiming that his original conversation, the one that allegedly referenced the situation, was longer than what leaked. Much longer. According to one source, there was a section that never made it online. A section where someone off-camera reportedly asked a direct question, "Is this actually being planned, or just talked about?" And the response, "That's what people are now desperate to hear." Because if that answer exists, it could completely change everything. But before anyone could verify that claim, another leak dropped. And this one didn't come from audio. It came from messages. A thread. Dozens of texts. Time-stamped, organized, and allegedly pulled from someone close to the situation. At first glance, they looked like coordination. Short lines. Quick exchanges. Did she say anything else? Not yet. Keep an eye on her. That phrase, "keep an eye on her," hit people hard. Because now, it wasn't just about reacting. It felt like monitoring. Tracking. Watching. And then came the message that sent chills through the entire timeline. "She's getting nervous." Followed by, "Good." That was the moment the internet stopped trying to rationalize things. Because whether real or not, it sounded real enough to shake people. And suddenly, attention shifted back to the person at the center of it all. Charlie's sister. Who was she? Why did she matter? And what exactly did she know that made everyone so tense? The theories exploded. Some claimed she had information about private dealings. Others said she had recordings of her own. A few even suggested she had already tried to speak out, and was ignored. But no one had proof. Just speculation. Until something changed. Because the account that had posted, "I see everything now," it came back. This time, not with a cryptic line. With a video. Short. Front camera. Dim lighting. Her face is partially visible, but not enough for clear identification. And her voice. Shaky. Controlled. "But I'm scared. I didn't think it would go this far," she said quietly. "I thought once I stepped back, everything would just stop." Comments flooded instantly. "What do you know? Are you safe? Who are you talking about?" She hesitated. Looked off screen. Then said something that made everything worse. "They told me to stay quiet." Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. And then, before she could say anything else, the video cut. Not ended. Cut. Abruptly. And within seconds, people started noticing something strange. The upload disappeared. Gone. No trace. No replay. Nothing. As if it had never been posted at all. That's when panic fully set in. Because now, this wasn't just about leaks. This felt controlled. Managed. Like pieces were being allowed out, and others were being pulled back. And just when people thought it couldn't get more intense, a new voice entered the situation. Unexpected. Unfiltered. And instantly viral. Because during a separate conversation clip tied to Joe Rogan, someone allegedly referenced the situation again, but this time, with a tone that caught everyone off guard. If even half of that is true, the voice said, then someone needs to step in before this turns into something irreversible. Irreversible. That word echoed everywhere. Because now, the stakes didn't feel hypothetical anymore. They felt real. Immediate. Urgent. And right as the internet reached peak chaos, Erika broke her silence again. Another post. But this time, it wasn't cryptic. It was direct. Stop spreading lies before people get hurt. That line hit hard. Because it flipped the narrative again. Now she wasn't denying everything. She was warned. Warning about consequences. About escalation. About something going too far. And instantly, the internet split again. Some people believed her. Said this had gone too far already. Said rumors were turning dangerous. But others, they weren't convinced. Because the leaks, the messages, the videos, they all painted a picture that didn't feel random. And just when it seemed like things might calm down, the biggest twist yet dropped. A file. Unnamed. Unverified. But spreading faster than anything before it. Because inside that file, according to those who claim to have seen it, is something that doesn't just suggest a plan. It shows intention. Clear. Documented. And if that file is real, then everything that's happened so far was only the surface. That file didn't just leak. It detonated. No warning. No build-up. Just a sudden drop into private groups, then Telegram channels, then exploding across every platform at once. People weren't even asking if it was real anymore. They were too busy reacting to what it showed. Because this wasn't another vague message thread. This was structured. Organized. Detailed. A series of notes. Bullet points. Dates. Times. And one line, right in the middle of it, that froze everything. She won't see it coming. The internet went completely silent for a moment. Then chaos erupted. Because if that line meant what people thought it meant, then this wasn't just talk anymore. This looked like planning. And suddenly, every earlier leak, the audio, the texts, the warnings, it all started lining up in a way that felt too precise to ignore. But here's where it gets even more intense. Because buried deeper in that same file, there was another section. Smaller. Almost overlooked at first. Until someone zoomed in. And read it out loud. Make it look natural. That was it. 8 words that sent shockwaves through every corner of the internet. Because now, people weren't debating tone or intention anymore. They were asking one question: what exactly was supposed to happen? And to who? Because all signs still pointed back to one person. Charlie's sister. And just as the panic reached its peak, her account came back. No announcement. No build-up. Just a live stream that instantly pulled in thousands. Her face clearer this time, but still partially shadowed. Eyes tired. Voice steady, but heavy. And the first thing she said: I didn't think they'd actually do it. Everything stopped. Comments froze. Because that one sentence changed the entire tone. From speculation, to fear. What do you mean do it? People spammed. Who? What happened? She looked straight into the camera. They said it was just talk, she continued. They said nothing would actually happen. Pause. Then she shook her head. But now I'm not sure. The chat exploded. People begging for details. Names. Proof. And for a moment, it looked like she was about to say everything. She opened her mouth, and then suddenly, the screen glitched. Audio cut. Video froze. Gone. Just like that. And this time, it wasn't just her account. Clips started disappearing. Reposts getting taken down. Even discussion threads were being flagged and removed faster than anyone could track. And that's when a new theory took over completely. This wasn't just going viral. This was being controlled. But the biggest shock came minutes later. Because right as everything was being wiped, Joe Rogan trended again. A new clip. Short. Clear. Impossible to ignore. And in it, he said something that turned the entire situation upside down. If you hear something like that, you don't sit on it. You speak. No names. No direct references. But the timing. Too perfect. And instantly, people took it as confirmation. That he knew. That he heard something. That what leaked might not even be the full story. Meanwhile, Erika finally responded, again. But this time, it wasn't controlled. It wasn't calm. It was emotional. A video. Slightly shaky. Eyes intense. This has gone too far. She said. Y'all are playing with people's lives now. Not denial. Not clarification. Just frustration. And fear. Because for the first time, she didn't look like someone in control of the narrative. She looked like someone reacting to it. And then she said one line that left everyone unsettled. You don't understand what you're starting. Starting. That word stuck. Because it implied something wasn't finished. Something hadn't even begun yet. And right after that video ended, a final post appeared. No name attached. No history. Just a single sentence. It already started. That was it. And just like that, everything went quiet. No new leaks. No new lives. No responses. Just silence. The kind of silence that feels like something is building behind it. Because now, nobody knows what's real anymore. Nobody knows who's telling the truth. And nobody knows what's coming next. But one thing is certain, if even a fraction of this is true, then this isn't just a scandal. It's something far more dangerous. And whatever happens next might not stay on the internet. If you think this story ends here, you're not paying attention. Because what you just witnessed isn't closure, it's the beginning of something way bigger, way darker, and way more unpredictable than anyone expected. Pieces are still missing. Clips are still disappearing. And that silence right now. It doesn't feel like the end, it feels like something is being held back. So if you've made it this far, don't scroll away thinking you've seen everything, because you haven't. Hit that like button right now if you felt how intense this situation just became, because the more